Chris.
And I'm Dr. Zant.
We're identical twins.
Twins!
Do you know just how awesome your body really is?
So that's real visible DNA.
Well, get ready to be wowed.
Right now, here's a blood vessel.
In this new series, we're delving deeper than ever before.
It's time to saw open some bone.
To find out what makes your brilliant body work,
Smell my armpit!
we'll be doing gobsmacking experiments,
Wow!
testing some mind-bending tricks, and we'll uncover some real medical mysteries.
I got hit with the wooden cricket bat.
So, are you ready to see what you're made of? Coming up today,
Operation Ouch!
find out why we're racing dominoes in a lab.
Yes!
We hit the streets and bend some minds.
It's weird.
Yeah, really weird.
And I discover what's hiding on your hands.
Ooh, that is a strong smell.
But first,
Medical teams always expect the unexpected.
Ah! He wasn't expecting that.
waiting in Sheffield Accident and Emergency is 4-year-old Lacey with a confectionery-related conundrum.
I pushed a Tic Tac up my nose and then it was stuck.
Right, one in each nostril, was it?
Only one.
Well, that's something, I suppose.
I was blowing my nose and then it didn't come out.
Oh dear, let's find out more about this nasal nightmare. Lacey was at home watching TV. The Dumping Ground? No. Deadly 60? No. Operation Ouch? Zon, I don't know what she was watching. That's not the point. The point is, she was watching TV and eating sweets. And throwing them up in the air and catching them in her mouth? No, Zon, that's how you do it. Lacey was eating them like normal, and all of a sudden, she stuck one up her nose. What? That's no place to keep your sweets. I know. And when she tried to get it out, she pushed it out even further. Ouch.
We're going to see doctors what they say.
Sounds like a good idea. And here's Dr. Chris Lemaire to have a squiz at that snout. Dr. Chris starts by asking the question on everyone's lips.
Why did you push a Tic Tac up your nose?
Because it...
Yes? Looks like we'll never know. Dr. Chris sees if he can spot the sweet up her sneezer.
I can not quite see a Tic Tac in there.
The cunning candy is still out of sight, so it's time for a more hands-on approach.
Have you ever heard of the mother's kiss?
Ooh, everyone likes kisses from Mum.
It's a really nice way of trying to get things out of noses.
Maybe not this kind.
If you press on this nostril,
Right.
and then give her a kiss, and just blow as hard as you can into her nose.
Mum doesn't look so sure.
But it should fire out if it's still intact. However, it will cover the side of your face and snot.
Ooh, nice. Any sign of that sweet? Not yet. Yep, there's that snot.
Fair enough.
I don't like that.
Sorry, darling. It's the best way, though, to try and get it moving.
Dr. Chris has another look to see if there's been any movement.
Actually, I can see bits of it now.
Oh yeah, that tiny little white speck is part of the sweet.
What it looks like is there's just little parts of it left. If the main body of it is somewhere else, then it's a bit further back than you can see.
With bits of sweet still up Lacey's nose, we'll be back later to see if that missing mint is still on the loose. Ready to see some amazing experiments?
This is the Operation Ouch Poo Factory.
We show you how your incredible body works. Just don't try anything you see here at home.
Today, we're taking you on a journey down your body's information superhighway. We're talking about your nerves. Come and have a look at this. Now, where in the body do you think you'd find this slot? Is it A, inside your stomach, B, inside your leg, or C, inside your back? Well, the answer is C, it's inside your back. This is a spinal column, and it runs all the way from the bottom of your head to the top of your bottom.
Now, this spinal column is from a pig, but yours is very similar.
The whole structure is designed to protect a very important bunch of nerves called the spinal cord, and it runs down this groove in the middle.
And this is the spinal cord itself. The reason that it's so well protected inside those bones is because it's very important. It carries all the information from your brain to your muscles.
And what's really amazing is that some nerves carry signals at 100 meters per second, which is 10 times faster than anyone can run, even Usain Bolt.
So how are they so fast? Well, we're going to show you. hang on, that's the lunch bell. Woohoo!
Just a minute, Zond. It's not lunchtime yet. What's everyone doing in the canteen?
Zond, what on earth is going on?
It's actually part of a plan to show you how nerves work. Now, the lunch cube represents one single nerve. All the way along the nerve are ion channels, and that's what the people in this lunch queue are. They pass the message from one place to another, all along the length of the nerve.
OK, I see. So I represent my own brain, and I'm thirsty and I want a cup of tea, but in order to get my hand to get me a cup of tea, I have to send a message down this line, just like the brain would send a nerve signal down a nerve.
So my brain is using the ion channels in my nerve to send a message to my hand for a drink.
Tea. OK, milk, 2 sugars, please. Thank you. Ooh, this tea is very hot. I'd better send a note to Chris's brain, see what he wants me to do about it.
Hurry up, ion channels. This is really hot.
Ah!
Tea is too hot. Well, Zond's message did eventually get to me, but it took a long time, didn't it? Well, from my perspective, the tea is too hot to drink, so I'm going to go back to the lab. Come on, ion channels.
Chris? Chris?
Thankfully, your nerves have a trick up their sleeves to make them work a whole lot better than our lunch cube, and we're going to show you just what that is by using dominoes.
Dominoes? Great!
Now, each line of dominoes represents a single nerve, and each domino is an ion channel, just like those people in the lunch queue. Now, in this lineup, all the dominoes are side by side.
But in this lineup, there are rulers between each domino, and these rulers represent something called a myelin sheath. Now, in your body, there's a myelin sheath wrapped around many of your nerves.
This is what allows messages to travel down your nerves in a very special way. Both cars will go round the loop, but
Which car is going to jump first? Let's find out. It's time for a nerve race.
Wearing blue in lane 1, it's the rampaging ruler, the myelin sheath mover, Dr. Chris! And in lane 2, the green machine, the domino dominator, Dr. Zond! Drivers at the ready, 3, 2, 1, go! Yes! Let's see that again. What a start from Dr. Chris's myelin sheath as it streaks ahead of Dr. Zond's dawdling dominoes.
exactly what happens inside your body as the myelin sheath wrapped around the nerve allows the signal to go super fast and sends the blue car speeding to the finish.
It's just as well, because if your nerves were like Zond's race, you'd be the slowest moving human on the planet.
Oi! So, we've shown you the amazing superhighway of nerves that is your spinal cord.
And we've shown you how they pass messages around your body so quickly at 100 meters per second.
And that's all thanks to a layer of fat called the myelin sheath, which allows messages to jump along the nerve, getting to their destination super fast. Right, I want to have a rematch.
Fine, we can, but you have to set up the dominoes.
No problem at all. Okay, good. Now, this time, I'm going to want the other lineup. I wonder if I can get rid of some of these blue dominoes. Oh! In the UK, there are hundreds of rapid response medical teams on standby.
And they have to get to the scene of an emergency in minutes.
Minutes? Woo!
We're on call with the UK Emergency Services, showing you what it's really like on the front line saving lives. On call with me is paramedic Jan Van.
Today, I'm hitching a ride in one of the West Midlands Ambulance Services rapid response vehicles, and paramedic Jan Van is having me along. Jan, where's the vehicle? How'd she do that?
And a new case is just in.
We've just got a call about a 5-year-old girl not eating or drinking, vomiting, high temperature, rash on cheek. So Jan, obviously vomiting with a rash, one of the things we've got to think about is meningitis.
Meningitis, yeah. If it is meningitis, that could be quite serious. So treatment has to start straight away.
Within minutes, we arrive at the scene. I've got my camera and Eric's got his, so you won't miss any of the action.
Hello. What's your name?
Rima.
That's pretty. What's been happening, Mum?
Very high temperature.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in the car for it. It's soothing, but it's going back up again.
Okay.
Jan checks for meningitis, which often shows itself as a rash, and if not treated, this can be serious.
Fantastic.
Luckily, there's no rash, but she does have a high temperature.
Rima's temperature is 39.9 degrees, and a normal body temperature should be just below 37. So it may not sound like much, but actually, if you're at 39.9 degrees centigrade, that can be quite dangerous just by itself.
Is she weeing, Mum?
This is a wee.
But when did she do a wee?
About a couple of hours ago, 2 or 3 hours ago.
Okay.
And when you go for a wee, does it hurt? No?
So although Rima's been vomiting, she hasn't been drinking very much, she is still making wee. And that shows that her kidneys are working, that she actually has enough fluid in her body. So that's a really good sign.
Looking at all her observations, they're all normal, but she's got quite a high temperature. So the biggest problem at the moment is she's got some sort of viral infection.
The good news is Rima won't need a trip to hospital.
Yeah, I'm a paramedic on scene with a little poorly child.
But Jan makes an appointment for her to see her GP.
What do you think of Jan?
And it's a thumbs up from Rima.
I mean, I was quite worried about Rima when we took her temperature and it was 39.9. That is a seriously high temperature. But luckily, Jan's able to be really reassuring and say it's definitely not meningitis.
And after a visit to her GP, Rima was treated for a viral infection and soon recovered. Still to come, we're out and about solving your medical mysteries.
Next patient, please. Dun, dun, dun.
We bend minds.
I don't get it.
And I discover how mucky your mitts are.
When was the last time your dad washed his hands?
Never.
Oh.
Remember Lacey and the sweet stuck up her nose? It's time to find out how she's getting on. Her nose on, not yours.
Oh, yeah.
In Sheffield, 4-year-old Lacey is in hospital after sticking a sweet up her schnoz. Lacey was at home watching TV. She was munching mints when she stuck one up her nose. Then when she tried to get it out, she pushed it up even further. After trying to blow the candy out of her nose, with a little help from Mum, Dr. Chris has only managed to see small bits of the sweet. So it's time to try some tools to remove this crumbly candy.
These are crocodile forceps. Snap, snap.
Dr. Chris goes in search of the sweetie with the crocodile forceps. There are lots of nooks and crannies in your nose where a sweetie could hide. Up your nostrils or in your nasal passages. Who knows where Lacey's sweetie is? To try and find it, Dr. Chris is using crocodile forceps. It could be anywhere around here.
It's tickling the tip of my nose.
After a search up Lacey's snout, there's no sign of the sweet.
There was a small bubble of snot that I could see, so I tried to grip that, but there was nothing in it. It was just soft mucus.
If there are any pieces of the sweet left, they'll come out by themselves in Lacey's snot. So, are you going to stick anything up your nose in future, Lacey?
No.
Glad to hear it. Bye! Did you know that in a single day your brain sends more messages than all the phones in the world? That's a lot of texting. Now we're going to mess with your mind. Scramble your senses and baffle your brain. In Mindbenders!
For today's mind-bending trick, we're going to perform an optical illusion.
Dun, dun, dun.
What are you doing?
I'm going to perform an illusion.
Tom, it's not a magic trick, it's science. It's an optical illusion.
Can I keep wearing my cape?
No, go and get changed.
Our optical illusion is going to show how your brain processes visual information. Here we've got a lovely batch of fresh cupcakes, but which of the two middle cakes is bigger? First up is Grace.
This cake is worth £1. How much would you pay for that cake?
£1.30?
You think £1.30, so you think it's about 30% bigger?
The bigger it is, the more it should cost, but it's more yummy.
More yumminess.
More yumminess.
You pay for the yumminess.
So you're sure that that cake is about a third bigger than that cake on the left?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if this yummy cake is £1, how much would people pay for this even yummier cake?
I would pay £1.50.
You pay £1.50.
Probably about £1.75.
Do you think that one is 75p bigger than that one?
Yeah.
£1.50.
£2.
£2?
I'd say £2 as well. It's taller. It's wider. Taller.
I'd say it definitely looks bigger and better.
Well, if you said you'd pay more for the bigger cake on the left, you'd be out of pocket, because believe it or not, they're the same size.
Gracie, what would you say if I told you those two cakes are exactly the same size?
You're mad.
Incredible.
No.
You still think that one's bigger?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, really weird.
I don't get it.
So why do you think that one looks bigger?
Is it because of the size of the cakes around it? They're tiny.
Yeah.
And those ones are massive.
Yep, they've got it.
This trick is known as the Ebbinghaus illusion.
It demonstrates that our brain doesn't see the size of things as they really are, but rather as they appear compared to what's around them.
Both cakes are exactly the same size, but the one on the left appears larger because it's surrounded by smaller cakes.
Right, son, let's take the tray further down the street and see if we can find some more volunteers for our experiment. Wait a minute. The middle cakes have gone.
Today we're back at a theme park with our mobile clinic. Zand is preparing the Ouchmobile ready for his first patient. And Chris is ouching about in the park to answer your burning questions.
Wow, I'm impressed.
At the clinic, Zand is open for business.
Next patient, please.
First in is 9-year-old Kayla, who wants to talk about her tummy.
Why have you come to the Ouchmobile today?
I have this interesting white line going down my stomach.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds like a case of I've got an interesting white line going down my stomach-itis.
I can't wait to see it.
Now, can we have a look?
Okay.
Oh, there it is. What's interesting about this is that the line it runs along is called the line of Blasko. The lines of Blasko are the little lines in your skin that cells march along when you're growing inside your mum. And the cells that make your skin a dark colour are called melanocytes, they make melanin. And you've got a few less of them walking along that line. I think that it's quite a special line and you should be quite pleased about it. Thank you very much for bringing your amazing line into the Ouchmobile.
You're welcome.
Away from the clinic, Chris is ouching about in the park solving your medical mysteries.
Why do you go red when you're shy?
Being shy is a bit like being attacked. Your heart rate increases and your face goes red because there's more blood going to it.
Thank you, Dr. Chris. Why do paper cuts hurt so much?
I think the reason they hurt so much is because paper just cuts that top bit of the skin where all the nerves are. So it's as painful as if you cut it with a knife. Does that explain it?
Yeah.
Back at the Ouchmobile, there's a new case in the waiting room.
Next patient, please.
And it's 11-year-old Martha with a multicoloured mystery.
So, Martha, why have you come to the Ouchmobile?
I've got a bluey-greeny eye with a smudge of brownie in it.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds to me like a case of I've got a bluey-greeny eye with a smudge of brown in it, itis.
Yep, that's what she said.
Can you open up the eyelid on the ouch cam? Okay. Now, that eye is just a regular blue eye. But this one, it's got two different colours in. So we call this mosaicism, like after a mosaic.
Yeah.
So effectively your eyes are made of different colour tiles and you've got mostly blue tiles with a few brown tiles.
How did I get it?
So everyone starts life as just one single cell, and that divides in half to become 2 cells, then 4 cells, 8 cells, until you get Martha. And somewhere early on, one of the cells makes a decision to go, you know what, I'm going to be brown eyes, not blue eyes. And those cells are stuck together, and they're in your eye. Thanks very much for bringing your amazing eye to the Ouchmobile.
Thank you, Dr. Zand.
Job done for today. Clinic closed.
Hi, Zand.
Oh, hello, Chris.
Sir, what have you been doing? Making toast and jam. Would you like some?
Oh, I'd love some. I love toast and jam. Actually, no, I hate toast and jam.
Well, more for me.
Whoa, Zand, before you eat that, when was the last time you washed your hands?
Looking at them, I'd say fairly recently.
Well, I think it's time to wash them again.
Never mind that, Chris. It's time for Investigation Ouch.
Every single day, your hands come into contact with all sorts of things, picking up a lot of bacteria along the way.
But just how often do we wash our hands? Well, I'm going to find out using a special scientific tool called asking people. When was the last time you washed your hands?
Just before I left the house, which was probably about 20 minutes ago, maybe.
Oh, really? Okay.
Hour to go? Yeah.
At school.
When was the last time your dad washed his hands, do you think?
I think it was never.
You think he's never washed them? In the morning? What time is it now? Late afternoon. So, maybe we don't wash our hands quite as often as we think we do. But why does it matter how clean our mitts are? Well, there are harmless bacteria on your hands, but your hands also play a crucial role in spreading illness. In fact, 4 out of every 5 illnesses are spread using your hands.
Although you don't need to wash them all the time, washing your hands before you eat and after you go to the loo is very important, and I'm going to show you why. So, I'm gathering as many handprints as possible on a special jelly which will help to show what bacteria are on people's hands.
Brilliant.
Next, I want to take a second handprint after their hands have been washed in water to see if there's a change in the amount of bacteria. Finally, I want to see the difference soap makes. So I'm getting my volunteers to wash their hands with soap and water.
Okay, so you do the backs of your hands. Oh, you get your in between your fingers. This is an absolute masterclass in hand washing. What about a nice clean high five?
Now our samples head off to the lab, where they are put in an incubator set at exactly 37 degrees, which is the same temperature as your body. They will happily grow in this perfect bacteria-breeding environment for 48 hours. Keeping an eye on our batch is virologist Rhiannon Lowe.
So Rhiannon, what have we got here?
Okay, these are the plates that haven't been washed. So we've got normal skin flora that we've been growing up. So we've got lots of Staphylococcus species, we've got Streptococcus species.
And that's kind of exactly what you would expect from a regular hand.
This is normal hand flora. You can see the 4 fingers and you can see the thumb.
Check out these furry fellas.
Like to smell?
Ooh, yeah. That is a strong smell.
So these are bacteria that you might find on your hands after not washing your hands after going to the toilet.
Okay.
So there will be fecal bacteria.
Yep, that means poo, and these bacteria can cause food poisoning.
So can we have a look at the next lot then?
Yeah. A lot of people don't wash their thumb very well at all, so your thumb tends to have a lot more bacteria on them.
What, people just stick their
just wash it like that, and literally your thumbs are sticking out like that.
So there's still definite handprints here. It's clear that water alone doesn't do much.
What about number 3 then?
Number 3, let's have a take a look.
Squeaky clean. Well, almost.
It's just a few sporadic colonies.
It just goes to show that using soap when you wash your hands is so much better.
There are bacteria on your skin that are actually doing you good.
So there's no need to keep your hands squeaky clean all the time.
But washing your hands with soap and water, especially before you eat, is a great way of protecting you from getting sick.
And remember, when you wash your hands, do it thoroughly. A good 20 seconds of washing with soap and warm water will keep your mitts clean, and don't forget your thumbs.
In the emergency department, doctors and nurses need to act fast.
Especially when strange things like this happen.
At Alderhay in Liverpool, waiting with his dad is 5-year-old Peter. He looks fed up. What's the matter?
I hurt my ear.
It's a bit sticking out and it's a bit of swelling just behind his ear.
I see what you mean, Dad. That is sticking out. How did this irritable incident happen? It was lunchtime at school, and Peter was tucking into... A cheese sandwich? No. Beans on toast? No, Zond. Fish and chips? I love fish and chips. No, Zond. It was chicken. Yum. That's a lot of chicken. Yes, but as Peter was eating, his ear started hurting.
Oh, no!
And then it started growing.
Whoa! Like Jack's beanstalk.
Xander, this is Peter's story, not Jack's. Anyway, it grew and grew.
No, come on, Chris, stop it now. Wasn't that big.
Okay, just kidding. But the pain did become so bad that Peter couldn't eat his lunch.
Ouch!
Time for Dr. Ashvin Luximon to find out more.
Where does it hurt?
Here, this here.
Dr. Ashvin takes a closer look at Peter's ear.
Does it hurt when I press?
Oh.
It hurts there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is it hurting inside your ear as well, like?
No, just outside.
So what's the doctor's diagnosis?
He's quite tender to touch just behind his ear, which is where his mastoid bone is. So we just have to rule out something potentially quite serious, such as mastoiditis.
Inside your head, the mastoid bone sits behind your ear. Sometimes it can get infected with bad bacteria. This is called mastoiditis, and it can become serious if not treated quickly. Peter's got his own ideas about what might happen.
Did you chop me off for another ear?
Did he just say chop his ear off and put another ear on?
Did you chop me off for another ear?
Yep, I don't think we're going to need to do that.
For you.
For you, indeed.
Are you ready to open the camera?
Peter's having a blood test to help the doctors decide what's going on. Oh, come on, Dad.
And high five on the foot.
Great work, Peter. After a restless couple of hours, Dr. Ashvin is back, but the results of the blood test are inconclusive.
It still could be mastoiditis because it is swollen and tender there. Okay.
Okay.
So Peter's blood results came back as unclear really, so we're going to keep him in over the weekend and admit him for IV antibiotics, which should clear up any infection.
So off Peter goes to the ward. See you in a bit, fella. The good news is, after a couple of days, the antibiotics have worked, and that's what a normal ear should look like.
Put a needle in your hand, didn't he?
And put a needle in my hand to make me better.
He's got to take the antibiotics orally, so when he gets home, just carry on with that for 7 days. And hopefully should be back to normal within a couple of days.
Okay, I hear you. Bye! Next time on Operation Ouch, we find out what this bone has to do with your blood.
We're going to need some very specialist kit to cut it open.
Exactly. Zond hits the road with the emergency services.
He has a life-threatening condition.
And Ben's brain has an incredible op.
So this is the surface of Ben's brain.
So we'll see you next time for more Operation Ouch. Chris! Where's the variant?
How much would each of you pay for that cake in the middle on the right?
I'd probably pay £1 for that one.
Yeah.
You pay the same price for both?
Yes.
Why?
They look the same.
Now that is what you'd hope for from the police, isn't it?
The only people we haven't fooled all day.